All right, here we go. We're going to kind of jump into this. We're doing a little 2026 Royal Rumble preview. Getting excited. Starts at 2 p.m. Eastern time today, so should be a fun one. I got some picks, some previews, some cool ideas that I think we could get behind if the obvious stuff doesn't happen in this Royal Rumble. But yeah, let's just kind of break it down. We're starting this wrestling podcast. I haven't really come up with a name yet, but we'll get to that later. Other than that, yeah, let's jump right into it. We're going to have maybe one or two guests on this show today, giving some ideas, maybe some knowledgeable ideas, maybe others not so knowledgeable. I have a feeling that one of my guests may not be caught up to speed with what's going on in wrestling world, but he's familiar enough, and I think that'll work. So yeah, let's jump right in. So Royal Rumble 2026. We've got some obvious answers, some not obvious answers. I'm going to kind of focus more on mainly the men and women's Royal Rumble, but some of the other matches today will have an impact on that, and I think there's some cool ideas behind what we could do and what they could do with some of these storylines leading up into the road to WrestleMania. So, all right, let's break it down right now. Let's start with the men's Royal Rumble. I think we have some obvious choices here. You know, we're going to look at Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. I think everyone knows Roman Reigns is returning. I'm pretty sure he already said he was going to be in the Rumble. For me, the Roman answer it's an easy answer. It's kind of a lame answer. I'm kind of bored by it. If it sets up a window for Cody and Roman 3 at WrestleMania, then I can see that, but I think we're all ready for something new, and I also think that's something you can save for a year or two down the road, especially with all these new stars emerging. Like I feel like the biggest, most wide open Royal Rumble in history. I think there's 5 or 6 legitimate names that could win this Royal Rumble, and I actually think there's like 4 or 5 others that would be freaking awesome if we could see them win the Royal Rumble. So, like I said, Cody and Roman, probably some obvious choices. I know the betting odds have Roman at like plus 105 on Bovada. So yeah, that's the obvious answer. I think next behind them is probably Braun Breaker. But for me, I think it's too early. Sometimes you don't have to force these issues with superstars that are coming up as fast as he's rose. And so I'm thinking you can kind of table it on Braun Breaker. We don't need it. You can have him throw out 8 guys in the Rumble, have him look incredible, maybe have him face-to-face with a certain someone whose career started similarly to his about 20 years ago. I think it would be pretty cool if Braun Breaker and Brock Lesnar went one-on-one in the ring. Maybe they throw everybody out and they turn to each other, and that's how that happens. Or maybe Braun takes everyone down, and that's when you hear Brock's music. We'll table that, the vision, all that stuff. We'll table that for a few minutes. But yeah, I'd say the top 3 most probable winners are right there. So Roman, Cody, and Braun Breaker. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Flip-flop to the women's side. I think there's a couple obvious answers, and unlike the men's side, I think the obvious answers are the right answers. So mainly Bianca Belair, her return, setting up a WrestleMania versus Jade Cargill after what happened to them months back with Naomi and everything. And I just think Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill at WrestleMania would be absolutely incredible. It would be so much fun. The 2 strongest women in the WWE. I mean, the match could be incredible. So that's where I'm leaning. And on the other side of that token, I think Liv Morgan winning is a great call. It sets her up to kind of do whatever she wants. And I'm going to get into it a little bit later, but I have an awesome idea that I'm sure some of you have thought about for if Liv wins or maybe 1 or 2 others win. All right, so back to the men's Rumble now. So I have some really cool ideas, and I'm going to run through these with one of my guests. But I have some ideas that I'm going to float out there. I think, an LA Knight return is obvious. I struggle to think that they're going to push him over. Everyone wants him to. It's his time. He's earned it, but I don't think they're going to push him over. And so I'm doubtful on that one. And there's a wild card in there, especially based on how Monday Night Raw went. I think Finn Balor could be a really cool idea. And I do think Finn Balor will end in the final four. I don't know that he'll win, but I think kind of with the angle they've worked with CM Punk, he's been teasing turning face for a year. So I think, and then he turns back. So who knows what they're going to do with him, but I think we're all looking forward to Finn Balor in the main event scene again, and we all want to see the Demon. Like, the Demon is freaking awesome. We want that. I think CM Punk versus Finn Balor at WrestleMania, and the Demon comes out. CM Punk brings the worst out in Finn Balor. I think that is exactly what I want to happen for the Men's Rumble. Again, it's probably not going to happen, and I'm not confident at all that it would happen. But that's my idea, and that's what I think. I think that's what a lot of people would like to see. It's kind of a turn the page on the normal, what they've been doing, and throwing a wrinkle in that, it opens up a lot of doors, especially with Judgment Day and the Intercontinental Championship with Dom whenever he comes back. I think there's opportunity in the Rumble for if Dom returns. I don't think he's supposed to, but if he does return, it could be pretty cool to see, Finn turn on him or even Dom turn on Finn. So yeah, we're kind of looking at that right now. I would like to see Finn or LA Knight win. That's where I'm leaning. Just kind of name a few others that I'm curious about and interested in for this Rumble. Obafemi. It's going to be his first real test besides Saturday Night Main Event in WWE outside of NXT. And I think the betting favorite to throw out the most competitors. And I think that's perfect. WWE has struggled sometimes with these stars, these rising young stars, and thrusting them into the main event scene. They kind of did it with Braun Breaker. It worked for a while. They pulled back. He's back in now. I don't want them to rush Obafemi. I don't think they need to. I mean, he's a monster, an absolute monster. He gets the people going. The crowd pops to him. He's fun to watch wrestle, and he's just an absolute beast. So, Obafemi, I think he's going to throw out the most people in the Rumble, and that's another guy I could see going face-to-face with a Brock Lesnar or a Braun Breaker inside the ring during the Rumble. I think that would be freaking awesome. So that's a guy I'm thinking about. And then there's some other names, with all the WWE Unreal and all the behind the scenes that they're giving us. A lot of this stuff is a work, a lot of this stuff is them trying to pull the wool over our eyes. So I think it would be really awesome if Kevin Owens was able to return for this Royal Rumble. Everyone's going to laugh. Everyone's going to say, well, he's doing his thing in Vegas. That's probably what's going to happen. He's going to be on the live stream with whoever it is over in Vegas right before the Rumble. And I'm leaning that that's what's going to happen. But how cool would it be if Kevin Owens returned? And, the pop would be incredible. I've got a good friend that loves Kevin Owens, and it's kind of who got him into wrestling. So I would say Kevin Owens, man, this would be an awesome, awesome opportunity if he's healthy. Again, we don't even know if he's ever going to wrestle again. So yeah, guys to watch there. And then last but not least with the Men's Rumble, I'm excited about a couple entrants. Specifically the 1 and 2 entrants. And I think they have a couple opportunities here. But I think one of them absolutely has to be Kit Wilson. You know what I mean? We got to do Kit Wilson, man. The entrance is over. He's over. And he's a perfect heel. Kind of reminds me of Miz when he first came into WWE. He doesn't need to win matches. He doesn't even really need to perform well. But his entrance is awesome. The toxic masculinity that he talks about, it hits. When I hear it, it hits. Like, it strikes a nerve. It gives me a little bit of the old-fashioned vibes where they were willing to go outside the box and use a guy like this. So I want him to be number one entrant. Either one or two. I think one to really showcase the entrance on a big stage would be awesome. And then if it is Kit Wilson, I would love, love, love to see Joe Hendry. I think both of them have those amazing entrances where it's like everyone knows all the words, everyone's singing them all, but you have your heel and you have your baby face. So overall, I just think it'd be awesome, and I could see Kit going after him with the "You're toxic, your song is toxic, this, that, the other thing. All you care about is yourself. Say your name and you appear." So I think that could be cool, and honestly, it could flip flop. Hendry and then Kit Wilson. I think that would be fine too. Conversely, and I'm keeping Kit Wilson in there, I think LA Knight. LA Knight coming in 1-2 with Kit Wilson, like toxic masculinity versus like LA Knight, the guy that's freaking the guy, the manly man, the guy that's going to shut up Kit Wilson. So anyway, yeah, kind of wrapping it on the men's rumble there. Excited for some surprise entrants. Not really sure there's going to be a ton of big surprises. I have heard that Kane is potentially going to return. I don't think he is. I mean, he's got to be 60 years old in full mayor mode. So yeah, I don't know if he's even a possibility. Other than that, I think we put a bow on the men's rumble. For the women's rumble, I kind of want to talk about some opportunities and something that WWE doesn't do often, where they're turning heels against each other for a main event. I'm sure there's plenty of times it's happened, but I can't remember it happening recently. And so, depending on how this Stephanie Vaquer and Raquel Rodriguez match goes, I would love it if Raquel wins this match and then either Liv Morgan or wildcard Roxanne Perez. I would love to see Roxanne Perez somehow betray Liv Morgan or vice versa and win the Rumble, obviously given that Raquel wins the title as well. And then I think that opens up opportunities for like way more. So first, WrestleMania, you can have Liv versus Raquel or Roxanne versus Raquel. But what I think is even better is maybe at Elimination Chamber, putting them all three against each other. Or having just a one-on-one, having one of the two win, and then lead into WrestleMania with an awesome triple threat match. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne Perez. So, just an idea. I think it's pretty cool. As for Stephanie Vaquer, who knows? I also think there's a possibility the loser of that women's championship match could enter the Rumble and win, given that it happens in that order. Usually they'll do that women's Rumble first, so if that's the case, then obviously this is a moot point. But anyway, so I think that's where we're at with that. Couple names I don't want to see win the Rumble, and I don't think will. Nia Jax. It's overplayed, it's overused, it's unnecessary. Tiffany Stratton. She might win, but I don't think it's the right call. Could definitely see her in the Final Four, or maybe like a Charlotte and Alexa in the Final Four. They turn on each other like it's been planned for so long. So yeah, that's where I'm at with the Rumble right now. To be completely honest, I don't really care that much about any other matches in this Rumble. But hopefully there will be a significant impact in some of them. Hopefully there'll be some good filler matches. Filler, even though it's a PLE. But yeah. So, with that being said, I'm going to go to a quick ad, and then we're going to welcome our first caller in. All right. Wanted to thank Cheez-Its for that ad. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming my first ever guest on the podcast that does not have a name. Will, welcome aboard, man. Welcome aboard.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited. I know you're excited for the Rumble. Unfortunately, we got snowed in because typically we'll watch this together. Maybe have some adult beverages. Maybe not.
Couple cold ones, yeah.
Yeah, so just wanted to kind of run through, rack your brain on what you're thinking for the Rumble. um, and run some ideas by you as well. But so who you got, man? Who do you think is gonna win? Maybe name like two people.
Yeah. So initially, I had just Austin Theory. I'm like, you know what? He adds credibility to the vision because
Whoa.
right now they're just, oh, beat everybody up and leave, you know?
Wow.
So I
I
thought
did not
Austin,
have that on my card. Oh my
okay,
god.
okay.
I like
So
that. So you think he could definitely win?
I think he wins, although I started thinking about it and I'm like, he kind of just got to the vision. So I think, honestly, I might do Braun Breaker one and then Austin Theory's my two.
Okay.
I think Braun Breaker's been in the vision longer, obviously, and he's paid his dues a little longer than Theory. So I'm going Braun Breaker, Austin Theory as who I think win. I think that sets up a good matchup with CM Punk or Seth Rollins if he's able to come back, beat CM Punk for the title at WrestleMania.
Ooh, I like
And
that. You don't
then
think that
and then we
saga's
split
over with, right? The CM Punk and
we
Seth.
sp- yeah, yeah. We split the vision up that way. But it might also be too early. So
It's hard to
um
say, and I love that you said Austin Theory because I did not even. I think I went through like eight names that I thought could win. He didn't even pop up on
mhm.
my like idea board. So I think as much as I don't like him, I think that would be awesome. I with Rumbles, I want more shocking and more like. I think it's the best opportunity of the year for them to actually shake shit up, like make shit different, change the game, like with what they've been doing. Because I feel like for the past year it's been Vision, 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 Judgment Day, all that crap. Um,
Yeah.
so I'll tell you my picks, and neither of them are what you had. I think
Okay.
it's either going to be Roman or Cody, and I hate to say that. I think it's so stupid and kind of to the point I just made, like it's unnecessary. Um, but all I've been hearing rumblings of like we have to do Cody Roman 3, and I just disagree. Like
Mm,
eventually yes, like you definitely have to do it, but I think you have a couple years for that. Um, and I think this is like the widest open rumble that I can remember in a long time in terms of like who could win. And I think when you
okay.
have
Yeah.
something like that, you don't need to put the two big guys, especially since just Roman's return alone will be fucking huge.
Yeah, that's a big pop. That's a big pop. I agree with you. I think I like your choices. I think it's too early for a Roman Rose 3. I think that waits down the line, kind of like how Cena Rock wasn't necessarily. It was back to back for a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's the play.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, we just went through that, and I did. It's worth mentioning. My third pick is Braun Breaker.
Okay.
I think
All
that
right.
probably will be realistic, if not the other two. Um, I again, I don't think you need to do that with him. I said this earlier on the podcast, but I think rushing these young guys into the main event scene isn't always good. And the way he came
Yeah.
up like a year and a half ago was like, holy shit, this guy is going to be awesome. Um,
Yeah.
but again, I don't think you need to push him into the main event of WrestleMania yet. Um, Especially with like this vision crap. Like, there's so many possibilities of like Seth Rollins and Austin Theory teaming up and like splitting it up or whatever. So I don't think they need to do that. But yeah, that was my third kind of pick. Um, as for who you'd like to see, and I don't care however many you'd like to see, like that would be cool. Maybe not super shocking, but like, what do you think on that?
I'm going. I think this is a pretty popular decision, and it should have been one that was made years ago. But I think LA Knight. I want LA Knight to get his flowers, get his dues. I mean, he's paid his dues, so I think he should have won. Or he should have won the Money in the Bank last year. He should have
A hundred
won the
percent.
Rumble maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. Like this dude just keeps getting shafted just over and over again. So I think everybody else's time's up. LA Knight's time is now.
So
You
that's
know,
it. That's
so
your guy for this one.
that's my guy. Yeah, I think. I mean, how long do you wait? He's been out of the light for. I don't think he's been back since the end of last year.
Yeah, he got what he
So
got. Bronson Reeded.
Yeah, yeah.
Tsunami
So,
bomb. I love how
but
that's just the automatic way they get rid of somebody now. It's just like, all right, tsunami time.
yeah, yeah. Let's get 10 tsunamis in and then send this guy out.
And let's get him on a car because that we need that.
Yeah, yeah. I think LA Knight gets it. I mean, I want him to. I want him to.
But
So
you don't
we'll
think
see
you
how
don't think
that.
they're gonna do it?
I I just don't see where else. I mean, you can wait. Obviously, you can do Elimination Chamber. You can do Money in the Bank, like I said earlier. But Rumble, man, this guy's he's in his 40s. You give it to him now.
Ain't
You
getting
set something
younger,
up.
and is
Yeah, he's
not
not
getting
getting
younger.
younger. Yeah, his and when he first came on, all those pops he'd have, man, with the crowd, the connection, and then you just kind of let you put a United States Championship on him, and that was okay, that.
It
But
was short
get him
lived
in
too.
the.
It wasn't
It
long.
was yeah, it was short. So that's my guy. Who do you have?
All right. Well, I've got two. I've got four that I really, really want.
Uh-huh.
I don't think any of them are going to win. I have LA
Okay.
Knight. LA Knight's up there. I circled my number one, though. I had LA Knight as my number two favorite, like person that I wanted to win.
Okay.
All the
Yep.
things that you just said, 100%. I'm going to save my number one. Kind of a throwaway. Would love Randy Orton to win. He's not going to. Would love to see him kind of chase that 17 championships and also just give him at least one more.
Mm.
But Triple H has 15 and Orton has 14,
I've
so
heard that, man. I've heard that.
I could see
Mm.
maybe Triple H is a businessman, so who knows?
Yeah.
So he's not going to win, and I'm not even being funny about this next one. Kevin Owens. I think it would be fucking awesome if he somehow did return and they just blast him. It would never, ever, ever, ever happen. Um, but I think it'd be fucking awesome. And you could even stick him like in the end with like Sami Zayn. Like you could just do that again. Like
That's a
fucking just let it
that's a
ride.
good point, dude. Yeah, because now they're writing. Sammy's doing his whole spit about
The same
being the
old.
underdog and same old, same old. So
All right, so here's my number one pick that I want to win, and I didn't think this until like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I think it's kind of like selfish on my end. This guy was in the main event scene years ago. He has an alter ego that's fucking awesome. Finn Balor should win the Royal Rumble.
ooh, I
I
don't hate
think I
that.
think Finn. That's my number one guy I want to win. I don't know what Dom's injury is, but they could fuck with that in the Rumble. They could put him in, and Finn could turn on him, which we've been waiting for fucking 10 years. Um, I don't think he's gonna come back, but I think Finn winning back in the main event scene, him versus CM Punk at WrestleMania, Punk pulls the demon out of him. So for
Mm,
WrestleMania, he brings out that demon, which is gonna do a crazy pop. And even though people love CM Punk, I think even as a heel, because it seems like that's the direction they're taking Finn, unless they're just trying to double us back with like what they did on Raw. Um, where he was like good and then turned on CM Punk. But I think he would be awesome, dude. Like if they had him win. And again, this is just more going towards me just wanting someone different,
yeah,
you know.